Tucson, Arizona, March 25th, 1977, 2 a.m. A car pulls into the driveway of a suburban home on East Linden Street. The engine idles. The headlights stay on. Ruth Morgan hears the front door open. Her husband, missing for 3 days, stumbles into the living room. Chuck Morgan, 39 years old, president of statewide escrow, shoeless, disheveled, wrists bound with broken plastic handcuffs. He cannot speak. Ruth tries to ask what happened. He raises his hand, shakes his head. He grabs a pen and writes, "My throat was painted with a drug. If I speak, I will go silent permanently." Then he writes something else. "They took my Treasury identification." Ruth stares at the note. She never knew her husband worked for the government. He claims to have been an agent for 2 to 3 years, but he won't say who he worked for, and he won't say what he saw. To understand why Chuck Morgan mattered, you need to understand Arizona in the 1970s. It was the only state in America that allowed blind trust land ownership, anonymous buyers, no public records, no paper trail, and Chuck Morgan was the gatekeeper. As president of statewide escrow, he handled transactions for some of the most dangerous men in the Southwest. Ned Warren, Tucson mob boss, Joe Bonanno, exiled head of the New York crime family. Morgan processed over $1 billion in escrow transactions, land deals that weren't about land, gold bullion transfers disguised as real estate closings, platinum shipments routed through shell trusts. But by early 1977, Morgan had become a liability. He was subpoenaed as a key witness in a state investigation into Banco International, a lender involved in massive fraud, a bank that laundered money for cartels, syndicates, and foreign intelligence agencies. Morgan knew the ledgers, he knew the names, and someone knew he was about to talk. June 1977, 3 months after his first disappearance. Chuck Morgan vanishes again. This time, there's no note, no explanation, just silence. Then, a woman calls Ruth Morgan. She identifies herself only as Green Eyes. Her message is brief. Chuck is all right. Ecclesiastes 12, 1-8. Ruth opens the Bible. The passage describes the decay of the human body, the fading of life, the inevitable return to dust. It's not a reassurance, it's a eulogy. June 22nd, 1977. Chuck Morgan's remains are discovered 40 miles outside Tucson, El Mirador Peak, remote, desolate. He is wearing a bulletproof vest, armed with a knife. His .357 Magnum lies next to him, the official ruling, a self-inflicted end. But the forensics tell a different story. Morgan was shot in the back of the head. He was right-handed. The gun had no fingerprints. The crime scene at El Mirador Peak wasn't just a location. It was a message, pinned to Morgan's underwear. Investigators find a $2 bill. On the front, 7 Spanish names, labeled A through G, no context, no explanation. On the back, the Bible verse reference from the phone call, Ecclesiastes 12, 1-8. And below that, a hand-drawn map, smuggling routes through the Sonoran Desert, inside Morgan's car, wrapped in a handkerchief. Investigators find one of his own teeth, not lost in a struggle, deliberately removed, carefully preserved. At the scene, a pair of sunglasses. They don't belong to Morgan. No fingerprints, no DNA, a calling card from whoever left him there. 2 days after his remains are found, 2 men arrive at Ruth Morgan's home. They claim to be FBI agents. They ransack the house. They take files, documents, photographs. Ruth calls the FBI field office. The agent on the line is confused. "We didn't send anyone. Chuck Morgan was the gatekeeper for a billion-dollar shadow banking system. He processed transactions for mobsters, cartels, and intelligence agencies. He was subpoenaed to testify. He disappeared twice. He returned once, unable to speak. The second time, he didn't return at all. The 7 names on the $2 bill were never identified. The tooth was never explained. The sunglasses were never traced, and the men who ransacked his home were never found. This case is ongoing. Subscribe to stay in the feed. This is Offshore Files, Case 004, closed for now.